Hey everybody, if you are here today, that means you're wanting to learn Japanese. I had a request from one of my fans a few weeks ago asking me to make a video, a vlog on how to teach Japanese. I'm not going to face cam this because it's not really necessary. But the basics of Japanese is they're very different from European languages, and this, for example, is one of the Japanese alphabets. And this is where I would recommend starting on learning Japanese. So I think it's more important to learn to write and read than to speak to begin with. It makes it so much easier later on. So the four things you need to learn overall if you want to speak Japanese are the alphabet, which there are three: katakana, hiragana, and kanji. This is katakana. Katakana I will go into more detail in a moment. The next is particles. Particles is the equivalent, let's say, of punctuation. It's a bit more complicated than that, but that's just the basic idea. Then there is grammar. What grammar? Grammar. It's not so much the word. Or is it grammar? It's basically to do with the future tenses, past tenses, and things like that. It's and how words change when you use them. And then lastly there is vocabulary. Yes, that's the word. I don't even know it in English, let alone Japanese. But that's basically your base knowledge of words, the words you know and that you can use. So if we start off from here, this is katakana. Katakana is used for foreign words in Japanese. So if there's a word that they don't have in Japan, they will use katakana. Examples would be helicopter. They don't have helicopters, or they didn't have helicopters in Japan. So they would say herikopter instead of helicopter. That's using the Japanese alphabet version of herikopter, and that would be spelled, obviously, herikopter, which you can find along here. Pu is fu with a maro. I will go into these later. It's a bit more complicated. And ta would be obviously ta, but with it has like a line after it, which I'll teach you about later on. So for this first one, I just want to focus on the basics of Japanese alphabets and katakana. So this is what the first thing I'm going to teach you is going to be about. I'm not a particularly good teacher when it comes. I've never tried making an internet video for teaching something, so this is new to me, but I hope it helps anyway. So obviously katakana is used for foreign words, and I think that's where you should start off when learning to read and write Japanese. Once you've learned katakana, I think you should move on to hiragana. Then maybe a bit of basic kanji, or you can go off onto the speaking path. It's entirely up to you. With katakana, the way I'd recommend learning it is, firstly, this is the beginning of their alphabet. It's not pronounced, you would pronounce A, I, U, E, O. Most likely. In Japanese, this is pronounced a, I, U, E, O. If you can remember those 5 sounds, you're golden. That's all you need to know. So we start from right to left, up to down. The way we use is consonants and vowels. In Japanese, you have a consonant followed by a vowel, and each line will have the K line, the S line, the T line, the N line, the H line, the M line, the Y, R, W, and N lines. And the way that works, you literally have for the K line, the K, and then you have A, I, U, E, O, and it repeats through every line, and that's all you have to remember for the Japanese alphabet. If you look here in these arrows, they show you how to write them, and this is how I would recommend learning to speak it. I would just put just practice writing them, lines at a time, maybe 2 lines of each character every day, just 5 characters, and when you get them, move on to the next line. That's all you've got to do. It's really quite easy. So obviously this one, you would go along here, strike down, take the pen off the paper, go back up, and slash down. And with this one, a line down, like diagonally, and then one down. Try to get as close as you can, but don't be too fluffy about it. You want to get the movements to come naturally eventually when you've actually learned them. Alright, so when I said about writing lines, I would literally just write out the lines for each character. Don't be too, fussy about them, but just try to get them to look as close as you can without being completely OCD. And just write 2 lines for each character. If you're on lined paper, this is useful because you actually have lines and you can do it, it's just so you know roughly where a line is. And you want to do the first 5 characters of each. And if you can get the stroke orders, that's obviously a lot better. I think I did mine wrong there, stroke order wise. I can't remember the stroke orders for that. Oh, there we go. And if you literally just write down just the first 5 characters for the day 1, obviously maybe do 1 or 2 lines worth, and just keep doing them until you've got them. When you remember them solid, move on to the next line, which would be the K line, then the T line, the S line. Just keep going along until you get to all of the katakana, and then move on to the hiragana, which I will make a separate video on hiragana altogether, as hiragana is more complicated, and instead of being sort of straight looking, the symbols, they're very curvy and a lot harder to remember, and they're obviously used for Japanese characters. So that's how I'd recommend beginning, learning katakana and, you know, how to do the basic characters for katakana. And just keep doing them every day, and when you get them, brilliant, move on. Okay, the only other thing I would say here is you want to practice using katakana with some actual words. So, from the top of my head, I used helicopter earlier. When you've learned katakana, the whole alphabet, you can actually start using it in context. So, some easy ones would be words like pen. Pen is a European thing, so obviously the Japanese use European katakana to use the European words. So, to make the P sound, obviously it's not on the table. So you'd use a he, and you use this thing called a maro, which turns it into a P instead of an E. And then you would use the sound, which is pronounced in Japanese. So it's not N, it's And that's just 1 down, and then 1 up. Helicopter is a longer one, but again, it's the one I used earlier, so I might as well show you that one as well. That's obviously he again, but without the maro. Ko pu would be fu, but you need to have a 10-10 again because it's P sound. This line makes it, instead of pu, it's pu, so helicopter. Helicopter, oh no wait, sorry. That's not a, that's at the end, isn't it? So helicopter, and then ta would be ta. Helicopter. Ignore this bit here, obviously. So it's helicopter. And you just want to practice using words with the characters. If you Google Japanese dictionary, or maybe you could just go out and buy a Japanese dictionary. They're not horribly expensive, Japanese to English dictionaries. That would be, obviously, that'd be extremely useful for teaching you later. I have a Japanese English dictionary as well, so, and that's just an Oxford one you get when you're at school. So that was very good. And it takes you so far when it, like, later on when you're wanting to learn, it has all the other grammar and stuff in the dictionary in the middle section, so it was very useful. You want to get one of those as well, probably, if you can. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped. I mean, it was quite short. I tried to keep it short, but I tried to give you the best way I would advise for learning Japanese, and that's the first one. So I'll say it's a katakana video, I suppose. If you want me to make another one for hiragana, if anyone finishes this, or if in general you think it would be helpful and you want me to do hiragana, and then maybe even I'll do a video where I teach you guys some kanji or something in the sort of order I would do it the way they do it in school. They have a year system where they learn a certain amount of kanji each year, and I would teach you those kanji. Obviously, I know them up to about the 5th year, I think. So I know about 300 kanji. But if you want me to make another video, I will do the same for hiragana. If you wanted, I could make a complete video where I go through all of the characters, maybe just writing them with you if you thought that would be something that would, you know, make you want to focus a bit more on it. As I said, if you want me to do one for hiragana, that's fine, the same for kanji, and if you want me to go through the particles, this is again a bit more in-depth, and the particles, I think that would be quite a good way of doing it, would be through a video actually, showing you how they're used in context. But obviously before we move on to particles and grammar, you need to know katakana and hiragana. So I hope this video helped. One of my fans was the one who asked me to make this, as I said, so I hope she's watched this and I hope she's happy with it. And I hope it has been a help, and whatever else you want to see, whatever else you want me to sort of teach you with this, and how in-depth you want me to go, I don't mind making a half-an-hour long video where I write them all out with you. I don't care. If you think it would help you guys and that's what you want, I'll do it. I don't mind. So anyway, I hope it helped. If you're new here, subscribe. If it helped, leave a like and, you know, comment, say what you think I could do more that'd be more helpful. If you have any questions about this, again, comment and ask the questions and I will answer them all. And thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.